Word of the day, boys and girls, is methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, other known as MRSA. And boys and girls, you do not want to get MRSA. If you want to see how nasty that is, I suggest you YouTube it.
Here I am, it's the on-campus kingpin.
Gayle, Saunders, Eagles session, skinnypost.com, talking the Eagles versus the Bucs. And as an Eagle fan, you have to be super excited to get a win on the road. The Eagles win 31-20. And big shout out first goes to Nick Foles as he stepped up in the absence of Vic. Had a tremendous day. I mean, what more can you ask from Nick Foles? 22 for 31, 71% a completion percentage, 296 yards, accounted for 4 touchdowns, 3 in the air and 1 on the ground. That's what kind of day it was for Nick Foles. The beautiful part of this first drive, leading up to this game, I was saying, where is the screen game Chip Kelly? And what happens, LaShawn McCoy takes a screen at about 40-something yards, makes it look easy. On the day he had 2 screens, averaged about 27 yards a screen. The Eagles got down there on their first drive, and that's a beautiful thing that you like to see, because they've stalled in the red zone. They get down, they dink and dunk their way down to the goal line, and just when you thought they were gonna do a pass to maybe Avant or some dumb play, they come up with a run. Nick Foles right up the middle, touchdown. That's something you'd like to see, folks. I mean, Nick Foles isn't the guy that you think's gonna run, and he showed you that he can be a little athletic when you need him to be. Now the Eagles came back and stopped the Bucs another 3 and out, and then you thought, hey, they could have have the potential to put these guys away early if they put up some points, and McCoy gets another opportunity with the ball. I believe it was a catch or a run, but McCoy tries to go up in the air, and he ends up fumbling. Revis comes up with the ball, and they thought it was a touchdown. He ended up being down, but it was a big play in the sense that he didn't score the touchdown, but now the Eagles have an opportunity to stop the Bucs. But the Bucs only come up with 3 points. Now that was huge. When they could have came away with 7, they only came up with 3. Now, the Eagles didn't look so hot after that. They got shut out a little bit. The Bucs drove down the field, and Vincent Jackson, they hit him on a slant. I thought Fletcher was in good position, probably thinking that he had some help by the safeties, but in this defense, do we have safety help? Probably not. The Eagles had a couple stalled drives, and they stopped the Bucs as well. But it's 10-7. You're hoping that the Eagles have some fight here, and they dial up the screen game again. They hit McCoy on the screen. They come back and hit Selleck on the screen, which was nice. It was really nice watching them utilize the screens when these guys come flying in, trying to put pressure in Foles' face. During the week, D-Jax is talking about, can Revis run with them? And on this play, Revis probably thought he had safety help over the top, and he snuck in there. Foles hit him on a nice little touchdown. I mean, that was, it's 14-10. The Eagles are showing signs of fight. You're thinking, hey, we got an opportunity here. 14-10. I mean, the Bucs weren't going away. They put a nice little drive together. Doug Martin put a nice couple runs together. And then when the Bucs got down by the goal line, they hit Vincent Jackson again for a touchdown over sconces. It was decent coverage, but Vincent Jackson is huge. So, I mean, going into halftime, it's 17-14. I mean, you're on the road. 17-14 isn't that bad. And then going into the third quarter, you're like, hey, This defense has got to make a stop, stand up, show what they're made of. And they end up coming up with a huge interception. Bradley Fletcher, he had a pretty good game. Some pass deflections in the first couple drives. He stepped up. I mean, Underwood had a miscommunication on one of his routes, but hey, they took advantage, and that's a beautiful thing right there. And when you got a team on their heels after a turnover, everything's kind of shaky. But the Bucs, they were bringing their safeties up, and the beauty here is watching Foles, pick that up. He said, "Hey, safeties are up. What am I gonna do? We're gonna take advantage of Jonathan Banks." I don't know if the Mercer was affecting him. They said he wouldn't play earlier in the day, but the doctors cleared him. The NFL doctors cleared him. But hey, that didn't stop Riley Cooper from making a nice touchdown grab, and it was nice to see Riley Cooper excited, happy, for what he went through. I mean, he brought it on himself, but hey, the team rallied around him, high fives. Everybody's excited. He played in front of one of his hometowns. I mean, he played at the University of Florida, and he had a huge day. That was a huge play right there. Like, that was a huge play. I mean, it really set the tone for the Eagles. I mean, now it's 21-17, and the Eagles are showing an extreme fight on the road. The next couple drives, the Eagles had struggled, and they got the ball. The offense struggled, and they had to punt the ball. And Donnie Jones, that punt was down on the 1. That was a beauty. It's a perfect situation that you want to see your defense in. A rookie quarterback has to drive 99 yards if he's going to do anything on you. What happens? This rookie drives the field. He hits into Jackson, hits right on a couple plays, keeps the ball keeps the chains moving. I mean, they pull 8 minutes off the clock. 8 minutes off the clock, 16 plays. But the big thing is the bend don't break defense only gives up 3 points. Now that's a win right there. Now it's 21-20. I mean, the Eagles are in this to win this. You're hoping. In the fourth quarter, you're like, what could possibly go wrong? You're hoping that something good happens. It only takes the Eagles 3 plays to get a touchdown. I mean, big props again to Riley Cooper. He makes a nice little catch, gets some some nice yards after the catch. Hey, he set up that touchdown. And what happens again? They hit Deshaun Jackson. He gets behind the coverage in the cover 2. Revis doesn't get help again, and you have Deshaun Jackson with another touchdown. Deshaun Jackson on the day had 6 catches, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Riley Cooper on the day, 4 catches, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. That's huge right there. I mean, that's what you need. I mean, the Eagles are up 28-20, and you're like, these guys are in this game to win it, and they're here to play, and that's you got to be excited seeing that. I mean, that's what you want to see out of a young team. One thing we haven't seen in the last couple weeks is great time management. The Eagles are up 28-20. They have the ball, and what do? They dink and dunk, run the ball, drive down the field. Running backs are pretty much staying in bounds. Chip Kelly is slowing them down, and that right there. I mean, sometimes you see games and you want plays, touchdowns, whatever. That right there that's a beautiful thing to see. That's got to be pretty encouraging if you're an Eagle fan who worries about time management. Like those kind of little things right there that you're eating the clock left and right. You got a Bucs team that has a shaky offense, and you can just keep the defense there out on the field and just dink and dunk. Alex Henry comes up with a nice little kick. I mean, that pretty much seals the game for you. Seals the victory right there. You have to be excited about Nick Foles. Granted, it's a 0-6 Bucs defense, but what did you expect out of Nick Foles? Were you excited, Eagle fans? Did you like what you see? Are you Team Foles now, or Team Vic? Like I said last week, I'm Team Eagles, and that Nick Foles is showing you that he's not going away. He's showing you that he can play. He was cool as a cucumber during the game. He got sacked a couple times, got hurried there, but he showed you didn't make any mistakes. Didn't turn the ball over. That's a beautiful thing. Passing rating of 133, 71% completion percentage. I mean, what else do you want from Nick Foles? I mean, 22 for 31, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Big shout out to Nick Foles, man. Big shout out to Chip Kelly for a good game plan. Big shout out to Bradley Fletcher. D'Amico Ryan's like 12 solo tackles on the day. He was all over the place. Fletcher Cox got a lot of pressure today. The defense played well when they had to, and that's promising. The Eagles went on the road. Do we have a QB controversy? We potentially have a real conversation now. Last week was, but now you saw Foles step up and face adversity head on and say, "Hey, I'm a G." That's all I have to say. And hopefully, there's not a huge problem in the locker room, and the team knows that rallies around each player. But Vic does make this offense a little bit more explosive, but explosive won't always get you W's. And if you can't stay on the field, then you can't stay on the field. The next game we have is the Dallas Cowboys. If Vic isn't super healthy, then you're going to have to go with Foles. And if Foles wins next week, and he's in the lineup and he wins, you have to ask yourself, do we keep going with Foles? And I think if Chip Kelly sees Foles heating up, you'd have to stay with Foles. I mean, we remember when Vic came in, he was lighting up when Cole was out with injury. How do you take a guy that hot out of the lineup? So Vic knows what it is. That win right there, you got to be excited right there. We are now 3-3. That means that we're 3-0 in the NFC, and we are 2-0 in the NFC East. And we're going into the next game against the Cowboys that if the Eagles get a W, you can control the NFC East and be number 1 all alone. So you got to be excited about that. But Eagle fans out there, tell me how you feel. It was a great win. Gayle, Saunders, Eagle Session, skinnypost.com. Living the dream, not as in dream team, but living the dream.